Hello, it's a chilly Monday morning in March and I treated myself to a vanilla latte because it's Monday and I definitely needed a little bit of extra caffeine kick this morning, and I thought it'd be the perfect time to have the coffee chat with all of you. I always say coffee chats are videos to keep you company, whether you're having a cup of coffee, cup of tea, folding a load of laundry, cleaning up your kitchen, or if you're like me, I like to have a friendly voice on whenever I'm getting ready for the morning. I sit at my daughter's old desk, I do my hair and my makeup, I usually do a brain dump and a game plan for what my day is gonna look like, and it's always nice to just kind of have that friendly voice to keep you company while you are getting ready. Now I know a couple of weeks ago I kind of did a chit chat with wanting to have a fresh start, and it's been a couple of weeks and I thought it would be just kind of a good time to kind of check in again. I've taken the last couple of weeks to really kind of reflect on everything and just let's start over again. And I think the biggest thing reflecting back was I'm coming up onto 8 years of doing YouTube, and for many years before I started doing YouTube, I was a woman, mom, homemaker, stay-at-home mom, military wife, and all that kind of stuff. And I remember seeing mommy vloggers, and it was just women that were in the same kind of same situation. Most of them had children that were younger than me, but it's just women that there's this new platform, and women are just kind of sharing the mundaneness of everyday life. It was nothing fancy. They just had a camera and what they were having for breakfast, what they were doing that day, what they were wearing. Got a couple of things at Walmart, Target, Bath and Body Works, Happy Mail. Empties was a big thing too. Like, this is the makeup I used, or this is the new stuff. And it was nothing fancy. It was just women kind of sharing their days, and they had no fancy editing, music. It was just this, and you posted it and the next video was up whenever. And I think it was after the kids would go to bed, when my husband was away. Those were some lonely nights. We had Charlie, our beagle at that time, and I just found the house was always so empty then because, hubby wasn't home and I had stuff to do, and, I'd put the TV on, but it was just kind of background noise. And I remember cleaning up the dishes and, making lunches, folding that load of laundry, getting everything ready for the next day. And it was so comforting to put those videos on to keep me company. I didn't have to watch everything. It was more just hearing about the mundaneness of life. And kind of when I started doing YouTube, when it was kind of transitioning from mommy vloggers into a little bit of different type of vlogs, and then social media, and then companies are like, wow, there's people that are watching these women, so companies wanted to work with them, blah blah blah. So when I got into YouTube, I was like, what, this is perfect little part-time job for myself, a little bit of income, this and that. It was kind of exciting. People wanted to watch you, a little peek into your life and all of that. And I remember I watched some channels too, and I really liked their content. It was grocery hauls and a couple of vlogs and dinner videos and all of that. And then everything started to change, where it was sponsored, affiliate, here's the link, buy this. And I was like, oh, I want to watch you. I don't want to see all this other stuff. But that's the way doing social media or YouTube and all of that works. And then I was like, I tried doing it. I never felt comfortable. I never wanted to feel like I wanted your money. And I just tried to do the best that I could and all this kind of stuff. And then, it was really blowing up with mommy vloggers, and I think it was Instagram. I don't even remember. And then people were quitting their jobs and doing this full time. And I'm like, holy cow, that's crazy, because there is no consistency. You can have a video that does great, but try to maintain that. And I was just kind of doing things like my husband, he'd be home on the weekends, he'd be gone Monday to Friday, so lots of times the weekends, it was just family time. And then I do these cleaning videos and all of that, and then that all changed because all of a sudden it was extreme cleans with me, power hour, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, it just doesn't feel real. Their house really isn't that messy or dirty. And I'm like, okay. And then, you just kept trying to figure out what to watch and keep you company. And then there would be vlogging months. I remember Vlogust and Vlogtober and Vlogmas. They were so exciting, and it was always fun to see your favorite content creator have a video up every day. So I always enjoyed those. But then a lot of different things were changing, and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, you know what? I want to keep things separate. I want to share my journey as a woman. I'm getting older. There's not a lot of content for somebody of my age on the internet. And I'm like, you know what? Let's change things up a bit. That was early 2020. we all know what happened in March that month, and I feel like the last 4 years has just kind of been like an emotional roller coaster as a woman. Kids are getting older, life changes, you know, family members, parents get older, you get older, you know, family dynamics, and just the world is changing so much, and I always kind of felt lost. But it was always those vlogging months that were kind of nice, because it was just like, okay, there's the ins and outs of everyday life, but it's just too much to try and vlog every day and edit and upload and do all of that kind of stuff, because you're dealing with all of the emotions of everything that's going on in life. But I think as I reflect back, it was 2023 where I think I worked through a lot of things that were really bothering me over the years, that I kind of like, you know, always tried to just do my best and that. And I think the first one was grief, losing loved ones. Just grief is sometimes too, like how things change for you as your kids get older. Being a homemaker is very different, you know, you don't get the same joy, or, you know, some things that brought you joy for so many years are different, and just all of that stuff changes. And, you know, your kids getting older, your role, especially if you were home all of those years, like what do I do now? And then I think the biggest thing in 2023 was like, I started off doing YouTube, sharing, like trying to lose weight. I was always focused on that number of the scale. It was just one of those things where it's just the same thing over and over again. I'm heavy, I've struggled with my weight all my life, and I'm like, you know what? I know that if I don't do something, it's just gonna keep getting worse, you know? Blood work, talking to the doctor and all of that. That's where I am right now, is just maintaining my health and not trying to get worse, and try and make changes to get better, to get more active, lose weight. Yeah, that would be great, but at the end of the day, if I can maintain my energy levels and figure out a way of eating that brings out the best in me, especially the older you get and your body's changing and all of that, that's where I am right now. You know, I've watched a couple of other people, especially like on TikTok, there's a couple of women that had weight loss surgery that really show like the hard work that goes into maintaining it, all of the extra skin, getting your activity, your water, your protein. Then, you know, in 2023, it was really like, you know, type 2 diabetes medication, you know, all of a sudden like weight loss was a side effect. So, you know, that was all over everywhere too, where people were using that. And I'm just like, I just don't care what other people do. Like, you know, it's just gonna be a vicious cycle. Do this, do that, if you don't get to the root of the emotional part of it. Because, you know, somebody that's overweight and, you know, eats for comfort, loneliness, sadness, all that kind of stuff, you know, and you're stressed out, that's the part that you need to work through. And that's what I've been trying to work on. So all of a sudden it's like 2024 and I'm like, okay, what now? I feel like I've worked through a lot of the internal part of it. Now I'm trying to work on more of the outside of it. And I knew that I needed a fresh start with YouTube. And I just didn't know how to do it, because everything is changing so much, but I like the simplicity of where things kind of were before social media, and that's what I've been trying to figure out. And I'm just like, you know what, it's time to close off that chapter prior to 2024 and just, you know, say goodbye to all of that. You know, I know the way the internet works, once something's on the internet, it never really goes away and all of that, but, you know, I was just ready to close that off, and I'm just ready to, you know, 2024 and move forward. If somebody comes across my channel, you know, they'll know that I did YouTube before, and I'm just kind of sharing like my own journey. And I think there was a couple of videos that kind of like, you know, comments kind of like, wow, like, you know, there is people that can relate to what I'm going through. The first one was I kind of talked a little bit about homemaking had changed over the years, and, you know, it was like, I always love, like, it's usually Saturday or Sunday where we just kind of stay home. The house is busy, you know, I'm making the meals, and like, I like that. It's not like that every day. Like, Easter's coming up. I'm always excited about holiday weekends when everybody's under the same roof, and it's just something so comforting in that. And I think, you know, a lot of you were kind of like, I feel the same way, like homemaking or doing all of this, like it doesn't bring me the same joy. And that's because life changes, we evolve, and, you know, things don't always stay the same. And I think the second one was I was making like, I think it was like Greek salad, and I put like a plate on a bowl, and I talked about how my mom did that, and so many of you were like, yeah, my mom did the same thing. And I think that's those things, is as, you know, things change over the years, we lose loved ones, they change. You know, when you reflect back, it's not always about like the perfect house, the perfect wardrobe, you know, these big vacations, things that you buy with money and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's just those little things that were just part of who somebody was, that like, you know, it brings up like, oh my goodness, like I miss that person, or, you know, I miss the way that things were years and years and years ago. And that's kind of where I am right now. I'm just kind of maneuvering everything and trying to figure out this whole role of life as a woman. And, you know, I'm turning 50 this year, and I feel like I'm just kind of like wanting a fresh start, like my home, the organization, the eating, the shopping and all that. Like I'm just kind of changing a lot, and I feel like so much prior to this year is just, it's time to close that off. It's just going to be the dogs and I. It's going to be Hunter, Linus, and myself, and mostly my kitchen, but a little bit of my house here and there. And I think that was one of the things, is I've always wanted to do something different on YouTube, but I haven't gotten to that point yet where I want to do more of like that kind of like nature and, you know, getting out and exploring and hiking and all of the activities. And that's why I'm trying to like get healthier and do all of that stuff to enjoy, like going for walks or trying different hikes or different activities that are just so therapeutic and just bring you so much energy and all of that. But I'm not quite there yet, and that's where I feel like that's where I am right now. It's time to kind of refresh everything. I don't want to have like one video up a week where it's just, you know, dinners and all that kind of stuff. I want to have those videos where I am keeping you company and it's not always like professional and perfect. I don't want to work with companies. I don't want affiliate links. I'm happy with the income that I make from my ads, and that's all I want. Like, this is like the perfect part-time job kind of hobby. I don't want to be doing it on evenings and weekends. You know, I try and just do it in my office. I don't want to do social media. You know, if I do anything, I put it on the community tab on YouTube. I don't watch YouTube on my television. I usually watch it on my iPad. And you know, it's usually like I'm taking a little break, I'll lay down, I'll put a YouTube video on, set the timer for 15 minutes, and then when that timer's off, I get up and do whatever I need to do. That is still what YouTube is for me. I don't use it as television. I don't use it as, I don't know, like social media and all that is something I'm still trying to figure everything out. And it's a woman that has a little channel on YouTube, and I think probably about 2,000 of you are pretty consistent with watching my videos, and that's usually when I do vlogging months. Like, those are the real numbers, where those are the ones that want to watch every day. And I think it's the comments where you always say, oh, I love coffee chats. It always feels like I'm catching up with a friend. I had a lot of channels like that too, where over the years it was like, okay, I loved watching their videos because it was just kind of relatable. But you know, they got popular, they worked really hard, they had a brand, they grew, they became like more professional and, you know, on to bigger and better things, whether it be in social media or just life took a different route and it was time for them to say goodbye. There's no right or wrong thing. It's just finding out what works for you. So I think that's really what I want to get back to, is a little bit more of videos to kind of keep you company, just sharing the mundaneness of everyday life and just things that I'm going through as a woman here and there. And that's really what I want to do. I just don't want just videos from my kitchen that are kind of like production videos. I do want to do some of them, but it's a lot of work to edit and film and do all of that and fit everything in, because sometimes those don't have the personal side to it, and that's the little part of YouTube that I miss all of those years later. So we're just gonna roll with it, kind of do my own thing, and we'll just kind of take it video by video. So that is it for this coffee chat. I just felt like I needed to check in with all of you. You know, some of you are like, oh, like I thought it was a fresh start. It's kind of the same content, and it is, but I just feel like I'm such a different person, and I just want to kind of keep moving forward. And those little things from years ago that kind of pull at your heart, some things it's like, oh, you know, life is hard, life is really rewarding, and just kind of share all of that mundaneness of everyday life. And hopefully that's what we'll see. When the videos will be up, I have no idea, because we're just gonna roll with it. And I think that's the thing I've always tried to do, is as soon as I try and plan and have certain type of content, that's when I go missing. That's when I don't have videos up, because nothing ever goes as planned. That's the one thing I do know about life. So anyways, friends, I hope you enjoyed this little chit chat. I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day. Take care, and we will talk very soon. I promise.